11. We're actually on our way to a really big exotic car meet. I cannot wait to get all the impressions from the exotic car owners. Are they gonna like the car? Are they gonna think it's just an American car? It's just a Corvette. All right, this is it. I think we're like the first ones here. And the McLaren is such an amazing car, all cleaned up. Got a Ventador, SVJ, I believe. Ventador S, is it? More Ventadors going down than a Huracan. What I always find is the Lamborghini owners have the same Lamborghini shirt and the green hat. First ones here, which is a first for me. I'm not usually an early morning person. One funny thing to point out is that the side intakes have the same type of V formation on both the SVJ down this way and the Z06. So this car does give me a Ventador vibes for sure when it comes to the intakes. So I guess they're not the somebodies. They're being told to go around the non-somebodies, I guess. You can't cut the line. All right, here we go, heading inside. Check out this amazing MSO edition McLaren Artura. I think it's the same one they had at Car Week. These stripes are completely baked in with the paint. Even the dashboard, it fades from black leather, I believe, to this almost tuxedo effect going all the way down. They did such a good job on this car. Cannot wait to see these get delivered. MSO everywhere. Then autocrossing it, driving it extensively so far, it performs amazingly well. Such a big fan of the McLaren Artura. And look at this view, looking right outside the top level. Got the Porsche aisle, the Lamborghinis all lined up, even a Pagani that just showed up at the last minute. This is wild. One fun game to play is to check tires. That's how you see if a car is used. So these tires look pretty used. Let's check out the McLaren tires. Yep, okay, pretty used on these ones. Let me lighten up that image. Check out that angle right there. Look how much bigger the spoiler is on the Z06 versus the McLaren. But the McLaren has a sharper angle of attack, it seems. It looks like people are already leaving. One thing I do want to talk about is all this stuff we're hearing online with the Z06 about engines blowing up. It really is a touchy subject, a topic, and there's a lot of truth that needs to be shared regarding this matter because it's not exactly as many people think. Having this car now for thousands of miles, I put over 6,000, well, close to 6,000 miles on it, doing thorough testing on and off the racetrack. We are going to COTA, so stay tuned for that. That's happening ASAP, which this car on COTA, that racetrack is going to be insane. I've had absolutely no issues with reliability. No engine issues, no transmission issues, nothing like that. The same can be said with McLarens because people are telling me don't buy a McLaren because they will fall apart or they have issues. The 600LT, I have had no issues with it. I've put tens of thousands of miles on it and it's been going to tons of track days, non-stop, not one issue. The engine has been bulletproof. All the functioning components have been bulletproof. All they've been going through have been tires and then brakes. Got the Senna turning on right now as we speak. And then now for the Corvette. This car has been dealing with a few issues online because you got tabloids and other news articles trying to say that the engines are blowing up. Oh, it's so bad. The news is horrible. The engine's not reliable, or Chevy's got a lot to worry about on their hands. In my opinion, I think most of what we see is for clicks. A lot of time from news agencies, news sites. When you really look at it, you want to see if the Z06 is reliable, You look at me, you look at my car, you look at what we've done with it. This is the most driven, highest mileage, hardest driven Z06 in the world. There's not one customer car driven harder than this one. And I can say that factually. Have we had an issue with it? No, not one. Look at this traffic all around us. You know what I learned from people? It's that usually if there is a stereotype about something, it means that whoever is coming up with the stereotype or using it doesn't know very much of what they're talking about. Because from the people who told me don't buy McLaren, they have issues, 99% of them have never even driven a McLaren, and none of them had even owned one. Having one, owning it, using it, driving it, learning what it's all about, I figured out that these people were wrong. People like to hate online about different things. The Z06 is, I guess, the latest subject to that. So it's sad that McLaren has to deal with it because their cars are great and you might hear stuff online, but look at my car. I've put tens of thousands of miles on it, run fast, the fastest lap times at the track, and it's perfectly fine. Z06, we're going to COTA with it. Not one thing I can say bad about the car. We drove it across the country, the USA. Did we have an issue? No, nothing like that. The McLaren gets all the reactions. This car's not getting nothing. You should see what I see in front of me. I don't think people are following break-in procedure. All the engines that have blown up or had to have issues, they were at low miles. Whoop-de-doo. It says don't go to red line until you pass break-in, period. And I'm seeing guys post videos of them hitting red line when it's not even at 500 miles yet. Yeah, there you go. That's all you need to know. It's not, I don't think GM has a problem or Chevrolet has a big problem on their hands.
Hey, both of those are your cars?
Yes, sir.
Man.
It's fun. Thank you, dude. I'll give you a rev. The Z06 got a reaction. There we go. I don't think people are breaking them in because when you see an engine blown up at a certain mileage point and they're posting videos of hitting red line, I think that's the problem. When I went to the launch of the Z06, I learned a lot from the engineers.
Do it again.
I wish, man.
You can?
I can, but then I'll do it one more time. You ready? Okay. This engine was developed off the racetrack, okay? And that's even a detuned version. This is the all-out version of the race car. No issues with it. Use our car as a prime example. We're pushing it, driving it hard. What I learned from the engineers is that the components within the engine and other components within the vehicle, they need to be bedded in. They're designed to be bedded in. The Z06 with its high-strung motor, this is the highest displacement flat plane crank V8 in the world, right? That produces this much power and is fully naturally aspirated. And it makes the most amount of horsepower out of any naturally aspirated V8. They designed it so that the components get bedded in so it functions properly. When you don't break in the car, these components can't properly make contact with each other. For example, there's another car I think that had transmission issues. For that car, I don't know. It could have been a break-in thing. I know that with my car, I had to pass 1,500 miles to be allowed to use launch control. If you don't, then the car is not ready for it. Before 1,500 miles, you could have issues. This was such a big deal to me, breaking in the car, and I heard this too directly, that, for example, when I was driving across country, I was heading through Texas. My friend actually owns Shift Sector. He's a really cool guy. Make sure to check out Shift Sector events. These guys are the best. They were having an event in Abilene, Texas. I was excited. I want to run this car after like 3 days of ownership, right? I found out, well, hey, guess what? Yeah, I'm at roughly 1,000 miles. I have to pass 500 more miles to be able to use launch control properly. So you know what I had to do? I had to drive the car all night long, get no sleep, to get from 1,000 to 1,500 miles. And I did it. The car ran perfectly. I've had no issues. Please, if you're getting one or you don't understand about high performance vehicles, give them the benefit of the doubt, break them in. The GT350 suffered from very unfortunate press and owners not knowing what they're doing. The GT350, yeah, it had a little bit of an issue. It would kind of consume oil. So much so that after every couple events of, if you went to the track a few times, right? you would check and you could be a quart low. All you had to do with that car was just check oil every once in a while. I check oil once in a while in the McLaren, and this car, yeah, that's what you're supposed to do with a high-performance motor. These people don't get that. They buy them, it's maybe they came from like a Mercedes-Benz or another luxurious chill vehicle, and next thing you know, they don't check oil, their oil runs low, and boom, kaboom, the engine is having an issue. Not just that, the filter, the oil filter for the engine had to be tied into a certain torque spec. People didn't realize that. They weren't torquing down the oil filter. So then it would pop off. Especially dealers were a big culprit behind this. They didn't know or realize or didn't get the bulletin information that the oil filter should be tightened. Next thing you know, they came off, and then you saw one story online of a GT350 catching on fire. These cars can be temperamental. A panel can rattle a little bit loose. Snap it back in. Race cars require a lot of maintenance, and there you go. Now you know what the real deal is. Please break in your car. Don't go to red line until it is properly broken in, and do not use launch control or hard driving techniques until 1,500 miles. That's it. You do that, I am 90% sure you're golden. Look at us. This car is running beautifully. Anyways, thanks for watching this video. If you liked it, make sure to hit that like button or help me out, and subscribe for much more great content coming out your way. I'll see all of you in the next episode.